Good afternoon and welcome to Scenic Memorial Coliseum, where we have a bit of a construction zone going on, but inside, Kentucky Basketball Media Day just wrapped up, or maybe it's going back on. We're currently in the middle of a fire drill, as you can tell. This is Drew Franklin here at UK Basketball Media Day, where it is just a peaceful event. We're getting ready to meet the new Wildcats. We just spoke to John Calipari, and hopefully there is not a fire in the building. But Drew Franklin here with Zack and Fire Trucks here, and Jacob Polachek, all from KSR. Jacob's first Kentucky Basketball Media Day. Excited to hear about that. But we each have a few takeaways while we wait to be called back in. I guess I'll just start with you, Jacob. As I said, it is your first. How you feeling the Kentucky basketball energy here after hearing from Coach Cal and some of the players, and then the fire alarm going off?
Yeah, I like it. I guess they wanted to cut our interview short, and somebody had to pull the fire alarm. But it was a really fun event. Getting to hear Cal speak. I think he was a little more open than he has been at times, so that was really cool. And then getting to talk to the players, it was a really fun experience.
We got to talk to some players we don't hear from much, guys that weren't active in Canada, heard from them a lot, but Big Z was in. I chatted with Big Z right away. Cal was quick to pump the brakes on him, as he's done a little bit, letting everyone know it's going to be a bit of a project. Don't put too much expectations on Big Z. When we got in, got to talk to him, saw some nerves there, a little uncomfortable with the media. Who wouldn't be with all those cameras around you just get to America? But I can tell the kid is having a blast. His teammates love him. He's fitting in. We'll figure out the basketball later, but he's here looking good and loving it. You talked to some guys we hope to see soon, but who knows? Ugo and Aaron Bradshaw, any updates on those guys?
Yeah, they were both definitely briefed on what their answers should be today when asked about their return to a timeline, because they both said they don't have one right now. We kind of know that Ugo's going to be the guy that is coming in after Aaron, but from the sounds of it, it does, they're doing stuff, they're day to day, they're still playing basketball, they're on their feet. It's not like they're, immobile or anything right now. But other than them saying, I don't have a timeline, that was kind of the only update we got. We did kind of get an update on Big Z too. It sounds like he's still going through the conditioning parts of practicing and trying to get through that. And I think Cal said he's not going to practice today, which means he's probably not going to play in the exhibition on Friday. But Cal does expect him to play in the second exhibition against Kentucky State, which is...
That's coming. Are we doing timelines or not? I was told no timelines.
We
get here. There's
from 5 to 7
timelines.
weeks to no timeline. I think we just guess.
Okay. I have a theory
guesses.
that the fire alarm was John Calipari in his office, and we got to asking about too many timelines, and he said, enough.
Oh.
You all get outside and stop talking about big men.
He was watching and he saw the question about to come in, and he said, I don't think so.
That's exactly
and pulled
what
it
I
down.
think.
Okay. I like that theory.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Who else would pull the fire alarm here? Cal talks about how that forces them to play small. That will be exciting. We'd rather have the big men, but they're prepared to play that. Guards talking about how fun the pace of play is going to be. Those guys really seem to enjoy playing with.
And
we can go back in?
We're done.
I think we're going back in.
No, he said we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
I still had interviews to do. Well, we'll just keep going. We're not done. Thank you for telling us we're done. Breaking news, everyone watching on YouTube. We're not allowed back in after the fire drill. There's still 12 minutes of interviews left. But I was saying the guards really having a fun time playing together, talking about how helpful Tyler Eulis has been. We'll see what happens on the court, but this seems like a really fun and energetic basketball team that can't wait to get out there and do it. Cal talks about how they're so skilled. We got to hear the talent over experience line we haven't heard in a while.
Many a time.
So,
reiterated that the 24, he's big on this recruiting class stuff. I think we need to mention that because it really sounds like he's locked in for at least 2 more years with these next 2 recruiting classes, because he brought it up multiple times unprompted about how the 24 class is going good, 25 class maybe even better is kind of how he added the maybe this time. He didn't add the maybe last time. I wonder what that means. Should we read into that at all?
Probably.
But yeah, so at least got 2 more years. Another big Cal, sorry, I'm just ranting here.
That's fine. We're thrown off. We're supposed to be inside
right
now.
Another Cal note that I thought was interesting, and I kind of even asked you about this, is it sounded like teams were maybe trying to poach Rob Dillingham after his poor performance in Canada. That's definitely what Cal made it sound like. I don't know.
We've never heard that before. That was weird.
He pretty much said that Rob was getting phone calls after his poor performance up in Canada. That's kind of how I viewed it was. And then he kind of mentioned later in the press conference about how other teams will just try and recruit guys, during the off season, especially with the new transfer portal and stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting that, Who was the one that was calling Rob?
Well, Nate Oates, obviously. I'm just kidding. That's who came to mind with me, just because he's Nate Oates. But that was a bit of a curveball.
Arkansas coach, they love to call everyone.
Right? We're just gonna.
I would think so.
We're just gonna talk about tampering at the podium.
I haven't looked at the rule book lately, but I would imagine that is a very frowned upon practice and Calipari was not too happy. I'd never heard him say anything like that, so I thought that was interesting. Obviously, that didn't work because Rob gained 20 pounds, and now he looks like the 5-star that we kind of all thought he was. So I thought those were some interesting points from Cal.
Add that to the list of Cal getting media day swag back. He started 5 minutes early, just walked in, didn't have an opening statement, was just like, who's running this show? Got to going. He talked about NIL. You've been focused on that a lot. Transfer portal issues. You know, Cal's always rewriting some rule books this time of year. What did you think about all those comments?
Well, I thought the general comments he made were the most interesting, talking about how right now it's really being policed by the coaches and the need for there being basically an NCAA clearinghouse to regulate all of this NIL nonsense. And then I talked to some of the players about NIL, and they were very quiet about it. Nobody really said much. I asked about because these are the 2023 class. They were rising juniors when NIL was put into place, right when they were able to get reached out by college coaches, and they really didn't have much to say about how that impacted their recruitment.
Watch your own pockets. How about that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you. Well, I think maybe they get some don't say certain things at media day. I bet NIL was one of them.
I would imagine.
They did tell them to call 911 on media day, which is why we're going to leave now. Fire trucks are here. We're not allowed back in. So I guess in 2023, we got about, 3/4 of a Kentucky basketball media day?
That's all I asked for.
Did you have more to ask? I had a few more questions. I didn't get
no, I will say we did kind of do a round with Brennan and Kareem. Side note, Brennan Canada is not on scholarship.
Okay.
If people don't know that. He was last year and I guess got kicked off, probably for Big Z or whoever.
You just have new news every time I turn to you. What else is in that noggin up there?
Well, if you want to know who the funniest player that Brennan Canada has played with over his years, he said it was Oscar. And he said it was mainly because Oscar doesn't know what he was saying, and that's what kind of made it funny. And I agree with him because Oscar had great sound bites last year from him just kind of saying things that just sounded funny the way he said it. He said that Maxey was probably the most talented player that he's played with. I thought that was interesting. Kareem kind of just pretty much said the same things that Brennan did essentially, but they did note how there was one instance years ago where they were leaving a road game against Arkansas, and Cal told all the players to sprint to the bus because Arkansas fans were banging on the bus trying to, I don't know, get in and rob them or drive it down the street. I'm not entirely sure what their objective would have been at that point, but they both mentioned that and thought that was an interesting, UK fans are crazy, but when UK comes to town, the other fans turn crazy too, so. Just some tidbits for you.
Love those tidbits. I'll end with a tidbit. It was a story we're working on, and I don't think we're going to get to it because we still had about 3 or 4 more players to ask. But I went around asking what was the weirdest thing in Drake's house. I only asked 3 people, and I got the same answer from all 3. His bathroom door. Maybe we'll show that another time. Maybe we won't, but it's a mystery. What was up with Drake's bathroom door? Because of the fire drill, we'll never know. But this is Drew, Jacob, and Zach. We're signing off from this situation behind us. Hopefully everyone's okay. I don't see any smoke. Heading out. This is KSR at 3/4 of Kentucky Basketball Media Day 2023.